All right, so here's what bugs me about the Pac-12, Big 12 thing right now. And it was in a lot of things that George Kliavkoff, the commissioner of the Pac-12, said at Pac-12 Media Days today. All right, so let's hear what George had to say about the Big 12.
With respect to the Big 12 being open for business, I appreciate that. We haven't decided if we're going shopping there yet or not.
Oh, haven't decided if you're going shopping there yet. I thought you did last year when you didn't go shopping when Texas and Oklahoma left. Okay.
Up until very, very recently, I thought the discussions were very collegial. I think in the last month that has changed, unfortunately. I hope that we regain that collegiality because I actually think that's the way that you solve problems. I know I'm going to put myself out there to be as embracive and inclusive of my colleagues as I can be to try and move us forward. I think it's unfortunate if we go the other direction.
I get it. You're better than the Big 12. So you'll tell us when we can be collegial and when we're not supposed to, because again, I mean, one time you're going shopping, the next time you're talking about the need to be more collegial and that you're going to continue to be collegial because you guys lead the way as the Pac-12, being collegial and everything else because you're the Pac-12, because you're the authority on the subject. So when you want to talk about going shopping on the one hand, but then talking about the need to bring back collegiality on the other hand, you're being dragged into this moral inferior morass that is the heathens in the Big 12. And then when Brandon Marcello of 247 Sports basically, I didn't call him out for it, but he basically was like, hey, so you're talking about collegiality. Are we going to get back to that? Because you're talking about going shopping, and what's the deal with that?
That remark was a reflection of the fact that I've been spending 4 weeks trying to defend against grenades that have been lobbed in from every corner of the Big 12, trying to destabilize our remaining conference. And I understand why they're doing it. When you look at the relative media value between the two conferences, I get it. I get why they're scared. I get why they're trying to destabilize us. But I was just tired of that. And yeah, that's probably not the most collegial thing I've ever said.
Oh, right. Again, I'll justify my previous lack of collegiality in the comments about going shopping for just how upset I am at the Big 12 throwing grenades. Remind me again, who has actually taken schools? What schools are leaving for what conference? The grenades are coming from where? Aren't schools leaving right now? Huh? What are you talking about? Just sort of that perception of that, elitist mentality that is the Pac-12. It's okay if I do it. I'm better than you. It gets even better. Can you imagine it gets even better? Because he's then asked about the Big Ten specifically and whether or not he's worried about the Big Ten throwing grenades and trying to take other members.
I'm focused on what we can control, and what we can control is to do everything we can to make the Pac-12 healthy and strong and do it together, the 10 of us. So that's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on what other conferences are doing.
You're not focused on what other conferences are doing? You literally just called out the Big 12 for what they were doing and said you might go shopping there. And then talked about the need for collegiality amongst all the conferences to grow the pie together. You're not focused on what other conferences are doing suddenly? Oh, the Big 12 I'm very concerned with. The Big 10, though, I can't really do anything to stop it. So I hope they don't take any other members because I can't really stop it from happening. So the Big 12, I might be able to do that. Maybe. But I gotta say, the most underappreciated part from the entire speech in the state of the Pac-12 address that George Kliavkoff gave, it probably was the best part, if you didn't focus on the Big 12, Pac-12 stuff, was in the same speech, he talked about the evils of more money in college athletics and how we must shy away from, again, the morally superior position of the horribleness that money can bring to college athletics. We got to make a lot of money, but not too much money. We got to be careful of that. In the same speech that he said this.
But a singular focus on money will certainly cause more harm than good. Our long-term measure for the success of college athletics cannot be how much money we consolidate into 10 or 5 or 2 conferences.
In the same speech that he said that, he also said this.
And adding new revenue streams. Examples of this work include our decision in the first Power 5 conference to sell rights to our data.
Are you kidding me? We want to make money. Selling the student athlete's data is another way we're going to make more money because, more revenue streams. And by the way, I mean, we've got our TV rights out now, and we expect to get a ton of money from that too. But I mean, look, we can't make money the singular focus of college athletics. What about the education? I know I just told you that we're selling their data, and we're not even really sure how we're going to sell it yet or what data it is, but we're selling it. We've got that revenue stream and the television rights and all these other things. But please, we can't be just singularly focused on commercialization and money, can we?